All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, and today we have the ladies of CIM, and we have Melanie Lassen. Melanie, how are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Welcome back. I'm good. Maddie Stier. Maddie, welcome back.
Hey, Chris.
And Grace Chow. Grace, how are you?
Hey, good.
Welcome back. The three of you had this amazing race at CIM, and we're going to go deep into this. And so I think what I want to do is start with Melanie because it's been so long since I've talked to you, Melanie, that one, let's catch up from, I don't know, almost a year ago or 8 months ago to where you are today. I know you moved to Colorado and all of that. How has that been going?
I know it's confusing. I'm actually in Wyoming right now, but we're
It's confusing.
about to move to Colorado. So
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm in Casper, Wyoming. The last time we spoke, it was a while ago, like February, March, April, something like that. So yeah, big changes. Sold our house, moved away from the best running club. We were homeless for a bit because our house sold very quickly. So I lived with my in-laws for 6 weeks in Tomball and then went from Tomball, Texas to Casper, Wyoming. So different. Did like all of my training solo, which really sucked. I know Grace can talk about that too. But yeah, but doing good otherwise. We do love it here, though, to be honest.
Yeah, that is a big deal. You have some kids and moving 3 or 4 places. That sounds crazy to me. And then trying to run and as fast as you did. We'll get to that in a minute. Maddie, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm very happy that the race is over and this is the off season now, right in time for the holidays. That's the good thing about CIM, the timing of it. You don't have to train through Christmas like Houston and all of that, where the thick of your training is right through all the holidays. So it's nice to be done. Good relief. Still living in Allen. No changes on my end.
That's good. And last time we spoke, you and Grace talked about training for CIM and you're feeling well and good. And we'll talk about that. And you did very well. Really excited to kind of get into that. And Grace, how's it going?
Hey, good. Surviving the cold weather of both Dallas here and then also Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and congratulations on such a great race. Last time we spoke, you mentioned that this is the first time you hired a coach and you truly trained. How did that go? Tell me about that. I'm excited to hear more.
Yeah, so first time with a coach. So Jordan Hogan, formerly Jordan Hasse, and her new business, Hogan Performance, with her and her husband, they were my coach this training block. And it was great to have accountability. I talked a lot about it in the last podcast, so I won't bore into details of that, but it was awesome. I'm going through an identity crisis now because I don't have a training plan that I need to adhere to. And I'm sure Maddie and Melanie feel the same way, but it is really nice to be done in time for Christmas.
Yeah, and you're actually in Dallas. I don't think I can get to see you guys yet, so maybe we'll connect at some run or something. I don't know how long you are here, but it's Christmas and all that, so it might be difficult. So let's get started. Let's start with Melanie a little bit. What was your kind of training from when you think of, I don't know how long you've been training, like 13 weeks, 40, you knew you were going to run this for a while, right? So, and then just tell me about it and then all the way up to the race. I want to hear more. And then how you connected up with Grace and Maddie. What did that look like?
Yeah, Maddie, Grace, I miss you guys. It's so good to see you guys on camera. Okay, so training wise, I mentioned left Texas, left Dallas, went to Tomball. I started my training there. So this is my third or maybe even my fourth time following the Fitzinger training plan. It's free and really works. And it really works for me, I'll say. So I did the exact same training plan that I did for 2023 Boston where I PR'd. Same mileage, like literally everything was the same. The only thing that was different, number one, I didn't have my training people. And then number two, like there were some races in there that I didn't run that I ran during the Boston block, but it's very manageable. It's every Wednesday, it is like 15 miles. Like you just get very used to like a 15-mile long run. You do a lot of like 20 plus miles on the weekends. The big key workouts are like 12 miles at MP, 14 miles at MP. That's like what you peak at. I peaked at 90. Again, it's like the same exact like plan that I followed. A lot of miles is in like the 80s, like 70s, 80s. Workouts on Tuesdays. Not a lot of track, honestly. A lot of it's just out on the road, but nothing. It's very manageable. Like 5 miles at half marathon pace, 7 miles at like between half marathon and marathon pace. But this training block was so different because I did it all solo and started in Tomball, Texas, so hot. Like it was just starting that in, I don't even know, it's 18 weeks. So I can't remember when we started, in July, August. And that was fine. That was like, I wasn't stressing out too much because it's the building part of it.
Yep.
when I got to Casper, Wyoming, we had beautiful, absolutely perfect weather. We had the best fall ever. And I loved running on the trails and just like running around here. But the two things, number one, the altitude, but it's only 5,000 feet. So it's not crazy, but it's
But it's
enough.
different. Yeah.
It's enough to really feel it. And then honestly, the big thing was the hills and
Really
the
cool.
altitude paired together. So I think that was a little bit of a secret weapon, like
Mm.
this training block. Cause like Chris, I tell you, I did not nail a single workout. Like I can think of one workout, but it was early. Like I did it, like it was a 3x2, like nothing crazy. And that one went well. But literally, like when I got to
One
Casper
workout.
every day, every single workout, like I just was not hitting paces. I could barely run. I had a really hard time going anything under sub 6:30. Which is
Wow.
crazy. 'Cause I averaged my whole marathon under that. So yeah, I just tried to have like faith that the altitude. I did the training. I didn't miss a single day. It was the first training block that I didn't get sick. I didn't get any niggle injuries. Like I did all the mileage. I just didn't feel like I ever nailed a workout. So I was hoping that the altitude, the hills, being with people, like being back with the Sloths runners. Also, I have a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I do not do any training in super shoes. So I put them on race day and then you just feel really fast. So I think like
Yeah.
that and the deeper and the race day magic and everything just really did its thing. But when I say that's why I was really shocked because like I was like, my training I should not have run a 2:48, like based off of my training. But I think it's just environment and just people and all of that too. And I did train hard.
Yeah, you trained every day and you're consistent and the altitude, the hills is a little bit different than Texas. And
Yeah.
congratulations, it's great. And so now I want to talk. So I know Maddie and Grace, we've talked so much about your training and what you've done in the past. And so not sure that we want to go deep into that, but I do want to kind of talk a little bit about maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks of your training. How were you feeling before the race came out and things like that? I don't know if whoever wants to go first.
So leading up to it, I was just waiting for something to go wrong because I felt
Jeez. What's
everything,
negative?
just everything went so well. I didn't get injured. I didn't get sick. And it was flu season. My son's in daycare and I was just waiting for it because I feel like when he started daycare a year ago, I was just always getting sick from him. But none of that ever happened. I got to Sacramento, no issues, all the workouts. Unlike Melanie, I felt very confident about them that I did hit my times. Granted, it wasn't at altitude, it was just at Washington, D.C., regular sea level. And the cold weather I knew was going to be a struggle to train in, but it was nothing abnormal. And so I thought it went great for me and we could talk more about it. But yeah.
That's awesome. How about you, Maddie?
Yeah, so for me, this training was interesting. I was feeling really good probably through October. I
Mm.
focused a lot on, to be honest, I didn't have a plan. I was just following what everyone else was doing.
Wow.
I was still very committed, and I am a big believer on just chase people faster than you.
Mm.
That's what I was doing. I didn't care if I was the last person doing or finishing a workout. Like oftentimes I've said before, I would join the crew in Richardson and I would do a lot of Dustin's workouts with him.
Yeah.
But Dustin's very fast, especially in short
Mhm.
distance. So I would just really try to chase him as much as I could and a lot of the other. So going into, I was going to do Toyota Music Factory half. I did, which was second week of November. And
Yeah.
I really wanted to break 80 minutes. So hour 20 in the half marathon. Break an hour 20 and break 250. Those have been my goals for so long. So going into Toyota Music Factory, I really wanted to do that. I was feeling strong, feeling like I could. Honestly, the race just did not go. I won 21 and some change. But that race, I don't know if you're familiar. It is basically it's on like paved trails.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much solo the whole race. So it's like doing a solo trail run. So it wasn't there was really no like competition for me to run
Yeah.
with or pace off of. There was also a really big headwind, mile 12. Anyway, don't mean to make excuses. Still did good, but I didn't hit my goal. So that was a
Yeah.
bummer. And I remember putting into ChatGPT.
Don't do that.
What does this equate to in a full? And it was like a low 250. So I was bummed. I felt like I wasn't like,
Oh my
I was
God.
doing decent in workouts, but I wasn't totally crushing them. But I think it's because it was so freaking hot here for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember I went out for a 12-mile tempo one day, and I think I only made it 8 or 9 of those miles before I had to stop.
If it makes you feel any better, Garmin tells me I still can't run sub 250. So even though I did, I don't understand it.
Sometimes it tells me to keep moving after a 10-mile run, and I'm like,
Yeah, unproductive.
yeah, unproductive.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention. Go ahead. No, sorry, Maddie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was sorry. Mine is extremely long-winded. I'll get there. I promise. I'll land the plane.
No problem.
Well, wasn't feeling too hot. Like Jennifer, Aaron, and Eric Brettel, I run with them probably more than anyone, and they heard me. And they're like my therapist. I was like, guys, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not feeling super confident. And they're like, Maddie, you for sure are confident. You can run it probably at 247. You just need to like stop doubting yourself so much. And I don't know, for some reason I believed them, but I also was having a little bit of self-doubt. Anyway, fast forward, I did the Frisco Turkey Trot, and I ended up doing really well. I PR'd in the 10K, felt really good, and that was really good momentum going into CIM. So then from there, that was just like the little confidence boost I needed. What was that, a week and a half, 2 weeks out? Yeah. So.
What was your PR? 10K. What was the...
No, I'm so bad with 5K and 10Ks PRs. I'll look it up on Strava.
Yeah, you crushed it. You averaged 5:45.
No, probably not.
That's like 36 or 37 or something like that. It's probably
Guys,
36.
see,
It doesn't matter.
It's
fine. So,
don't vote me. I'll tell you in a second once you keep talking.
did y'all do like a race before, like a half or 5K, 10K, anything like that before? A few weeks, months before?
The only one I did was the more
Yeah,
was
okay.
close race day, but that was the only thing I did leading up.
And
to
you
it.
did the Marine Corps. I know you didn't race it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that was
I didn't really count that one. See, Melanie knows our training better than we do. It's amazing. It's an awesome memory.
36:50 was the 10K.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
listen to what Grace did in Marine Corps. I thought this is very impressive.
I don't know
You
why
did the marathon?
I got to run the Marine
Jeez.
Corps marathon with the Marine Corps running team.
I
And
do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, I went
It's-
into it saying I wasn't going to race it for the team, so I felt guilty taking a spot, but I still ran a fast time comparable to others. And yeah, I just went in knowing I was going to run around 7-minute pace,
Okay.
and ended up running a 3:01, but
Jeez.
just cruising the whole.
You never even hit under 3 hours at that time. I just hit a basic 301.
Yeah, at that point, I knew I could have a huge PR from my
Okay.
2 and PR going
Yeah.
into CIM. And so I didn't want to blow it and kind of ruin the excitement. So I wanted to stay hungry for CIM. And that was why I said this wasn't going to be the time to do the PR. It's just a long run with a bunch of people running around Washington, D.C.
Just a casual
Well,
3:01.
Casual 301, hang out with friends. I could just talk all day running at that pace. Let's get into CIM, but before I do, I'm going to emphasize this more. I think that running under 3 hours is crazy awesome, period. You know, close to the 3-hour marathon is really awesome. What the three of you did was ridiculous, under 250s. What did all three of you PRs? Am I off here? Okay. Yeah, I figured. And that's crazy. And you're only a minute apart. So let's talk about the day of the race. You get there and anybody can speak out. I don't really care, but tell me just about how you're feeling. You're there with the family, friends. I don't know. Y'all meet for the first time. You know, what's going on? I want to hear that. I want to hear the stories behind the stories, not just the race. Go ahead.
We all met for the very first time in Sacramento.
Never. Maddie was
Never
our
met each other before?
No, so I was the planner, I guess you could say. So
we all relied on her for the training.
So we all stayed together
Yeah.
because I booked
Awesome.
it because I booked an Airbnb. I think we all knew we were doing it. And so we booked an Airbnb a long time ago and we all planned on staying together. So we all arrived on Friday and our Airbnb was like 10-minute Uber ride from downtown, which was fine. And what did we do that was unique? I guess one thing, we didn't go out to dinner the night before. So that was really nice.
Oh.
We made dinner at our Airbnb. So that was
Grace made
good.
some really good chicken quesadillas. And it was like really good for the tummy.
Yeah,
maybe
That's
that was
good.
chicken.
white rice, a little bit of cheese, tortillas, and some really good seasoned chicken. But that was it. Super bland, but still really good. And then some mochi ice cream balls. I know Melanie had her dessert of choice, but
Trader Joe's dark chocolate.
Nice.
yeah.
So no kids, nothing, no husbands, nothing like that. Just
No,
three of you.
We learned our lesson.
Exactly.
I think that's what was so special. Like, I keep thinking about the weekend and yeah, the race was so amazing and I'm so happy. And I'm like, even
Yeah.
happier that like we all PR'd and so many of us PR'd and just everyone ran really great. But it's such a rare and special weekend too. Cause like, obviously we love our friends, we love our families, we love our kids. But it's so rare to
Yeah.
have a weekend where like nobody, I think like Dustin is the only one who brought his family and kids. Like it was like just a solo trip for most of us. But it was like, we just got so much catch up time, which you don't normally get on a weekend, like a
Yeah.
marathon weekend. And it was just really rare and special and really
Well,
fun.
not just that, Mel. I think too. So Melanie, Liz Johnson, Madeline Rouse, Grace, all of which Grace never lived in Dallas, but all of them lived in Dallas up until this summer. And then they all moved.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
right at CIM,
That's a big bulk of people.
they all moved. So we all got to come back together and catch up, which was really
It was so nice.
And all of you did amazing. So you hang out, you have this nice dinner. What was your mindset kind of the day before, like that night? Were y'all like nervous as hell, or was it like, hey, we feel good, we're friends together and just hanging out and we're calm? I don't know what's going on.
We were
Or-
all very anxious and ready to just get started. Actually, Maddie and I's cousin, and I guess we call him our brother-in-law, very closely related cousin, came all the way from LA. So they drove up
Wow.
for the race. And so we caught up with them, and they're very funny people. So
It was a distraction.
it took
Yeah.
the pressure off. We
But I-
watched Zootopia, which was a random distraction, and another show that was
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
but that was the only thing on.
No, that's a lie. We wanted to watch it.
Yeah, why not?
Al's energy was pretty calm, to be honest. Yes, we were all anxious, but this wasn't any of ours first marathons. Like we knew, I don't know, we knew we were all going to be with each other to the start. I know, like, I think Mel and Grace even talked about running together. Like, I think collectively we were pretty as calm as you could be.
Yeah.
We went to bed early, both like every night, which was great because Saturday and Sunday. Wait, no, sorry. Saturday we were up at like 6 naturally. Sunday 3 a.m. Which we get
Yeah.
great day. Monday like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Great
So we did
thing.
a shakeout run on Saturday, and we were all just talking about how great the weather was, how good we all felt. It was nice to run around downtown Sacramento. And lo and behold, we actually finished our last, 2 miles. We passed our street, which is the street we did the shakeout run on. So
What? Really? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So it's funny because I was watching y'all during I say watching, just kind of looking at the thing and seeing where you were. And I saw Maddie was like at 244 or 243 at one point. Like it, I was like, I don't know if that was exact, but it was telling me that's where they thought you were going to. I was like, 244? Holy cow. And it went all the way up to 247. I was like, uh-oh, something's happening. But you know how you just look at the thing and it gives you a prediction or whatever. And I saw that Melanie, I think it was Melanie, went faster the last few miles
Yeah.
than she would have. Then you guys were tapering off a little bit of that speed, which is normal, I think. But Melanie, I don't know what was going on.
We all got it done. Yeah, I like can't believe I just felt pretty good, thankfully. But yeah, there was one point Grace said we were pretty far because Grace. So we'll get into it. But Grace and I ran like legit 22 miles together. But there was one point where Grace turns to me and she was like, "Maddie is flying because we're going her pace." Because basically Grace and I were running the pace that Maddie was going to run, and we did not see Maddie the entire race. I saw Maddie like mile 1. Yeah, Maddie was way ahead.
She was like, "See ya."
I think all of us threw our race plan out the window and ran way faster than we intended to.
Yeah.
I think that if you don't, then if you're not aggressive, then you're not going to hit your potential.
But there's also a balance of being aggressive and not going so hard that you hit a wall all of a sudden and you totally bonk.
You got to trust your plan and then trust you a little bit. Be a little bit smart, but be a little bit out there sometimes. I know a guy that he's like, I'm just going to go all out. I'm not saying you should. That's not that smart doing a marathon, but that's all he was. Hey, I'm going to go do the best I can every single time. So let's talk about the start of the race, and let's, who wants to get into kind of their race first? And then you guys mentioned that Melanie and Grace stayed together for a while, or what?
Like getting
22
to the
miles?
race, maybe this can be helpful for if people listen to this prior to running CIM in future years. And so getting to the race, we all left our Airbnb with our cousin that was able to drive us to the bus point. And all of us stood in line for the buses, which was an insanely long line that we had no idea because it wrapped. And so I said, hey, I just want to go to the front of this line and make sure we're not standing in the gear check line, because that would be horrible because we don't have like time to kill. So I was like, I'm just going to go to the front seat. So I go all the way to the front of this line, and I'm like, man, I hope I don't have to find Maddie and Melanie, because it was a very long line, like probably at least a quarter mile to, maybe a little longer than that. And so I get to the front, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness we're standing in the bus line. So, okay, now I have to walk all the way back. And as I start to walk back, I immediately saw some of the sloths. And I was like, oh, hey guys, like, you guys are at the front of the line. That's cool. Like, good to see you. And they're like, yeah, just jump in with us. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay. And so it was an informal like gate situation. And so Maddie and Melanie came up to the start or the front of the line, and there was like a gear check line right next to that. And then we all got on the buses, and then I'll let one of them talk about the bus ride with like kind of regrouping with Madeline and Liz.
Well, yeah. So
you were loving it.
Madeline and Liz. So we all three squished into one seat, and then Madeline and Liz were in front of us, and it was just so nice because we hadn't really seen them yet. I love like talking before a race, especially if I'm nervous. I've just always been that way ever since college. And so I was like so grateful for Madeline. She literally turned around, she really talked
the entire ride.
And that bus ride, how long was it? Like 35 minutes?
It was long, maybe 45.
So we just caught up the whole time. It was really great. We talked about, Liz in Chicago. We talked about Madeline in Salt Lake City. Yeah, it was awesome. Maddie felt a little sick, I think.
I get kind of car sick. So it was, I was listening, but I just had to look out the window. I couldn't stare. I don't know how Madeline did that whole ride facing backwards
and drinking Coke.
Yeah, Madeline. So good. Madeline pulls out a diet. No, what does she drink? She drinks a diet cherry Pepsi pre-race.
Wow.
Diet.
She lives in Utah.
She does?
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you know, the week your podcast interview came out with her, that was the week she moved. She like found out she was right after you all recorded.
Holy shit. Like I didn't know that.
No.
I thought she was still. That's why I saw her. That's why I saw her Strava, and she was like Utah or something. I was like, oh, she's just, I guess on a trip or something.
That's why we say such a nice reunion. Like people who had moved away, and it was like a great reunion in Sacramento.
Yeah, I guess so. That's all of you moved. Maddie, it looks like you're going to stay here. Maybe Grace will come here one day. We'll see.
I know.
All right. So the bus ride was not too hectic, long. That's normal, I guess, for that kind of
long. Melanie and I we said at one point to each other, we're like, it's crazy to think we have to run this entire distance back. It's a start and end point for the race. We're like, can't believe we're going to run that far, because the bus ride just felt like forever.
26.2 miles isn't that short. So let's just put it in perspective. It takes people 5 hours sometimes. So luckily it didn't take you all that long. Oh, that would have been a big crappy race. But so you get there, and how are you feeling? Are you ready to go? And Maddie, what was your thinking? Like, okay, I'm just going to start off fast. Did you have a plan that minute when you got there?
To not start fast. So I was thinking, I cannot finish races super fast. I've done 21 marathons now. I don't think any of them have been a negative split, honestly. I think I'm lucky if I can do an even split. So my goal going into it was, okay, I want to do a sub 250. So I need to run between a 6:25 and 6:29 minute mile pace. 6:29 minute mile overall is what I need to do. So I knew that the course, the first half is more or less rollers, and then the second half is a slight steady downhill, and then the last 6 is a downhill. So that's what was in my mind. So I was just going to try to keep it as steady as possible and hope that I could close in fast. That was the plan. Obviously, that didn't happen. So I started running, and in marathons, don't follow me for race advice, but I really just went by feel. I was feeling great. The first couple miles, this guy, Jonathan Bermudez, he used to live in Dallas. Him and I don't know if his wife or fiance, they moved. They actually live in Seattle now. Ran into him. I haven't seen him in years. He used to run with WRC. So me and him ran there for a bit. It was my first time running with music too, like AirPods. So he was trying to talk to me, but I couldn't really hear him. The music was nice. I was just concerned that like my AirPod would fall out or something, but thankfully it didn't. So yeah, I started pretty fast, not gonna lie. I think my first, honestly, probably up through mile 16, I would say my average was probably under a 6:20 mile pace.
Wow.
'Cause I wasn't going all out, but I was truthfully going at a pace that felt like empty.
Yeah.
And I was in my head, I knew it was too fast, but I also was thinking, I know that, again, don't follow me for race advice. I think I'm a very unique individual in this sense. I knew that as long as I'm banking time by doing this. And I know that even if I quote unquote crash, I know that I'm a strong enough runner that I can hold this at least to mile like 18, 20 per se. And I know I can still run at least faster than a 6-minute mile pace for the last 6 miles and be able to finish. And I'll be able to do this.
Faster than a 6-minute mile pace at that?
Or sorry,
Didn't you
faster,
like under 6:20?
I'm saying that's really fast at
No,
the end.
no, faster than a 7-minute mile. So even if I crash and then end up doing 6:45s, I'll still get the time that I want. And I knew too, I was like, the alternative is I really scale it back, I slow it down, and I could still crash at the end and I won't have any time banked. And I probably will fall back and I'm not going to then hit the time.
Yeah.
And I was really going on feel. I'd say the other main thing when I was running is maybe so I was trying to take more gels than normal.
Don't you take 10 already?
What'd you say?
Don't you take 10 already?
No, I don't really take much. I usually, like, even in training, I bring like 1 or 2 on the 20
Okay.
mile.
I thought you ran a lot. You carried 6 to 8 gels and used them at
No, I
marathons.
have a lot of other things, but not a ton of gels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the gels. It's
No.
other things. Got it.
Yep.
Keys
But
and wallets and stuff.
I tried to take them like every 4 miles, but then at like mile, I don't know, maybe 18, I was like, I was like feeling sick from them. Like I was like, I feel like I'm gonna not be able to take these anymore. But at that point, I was like, I either just need to force these down and maybe I'll puke them up, but at least I won't cramp, or I don't take them and I'm not going to puke, but I could cramp and not be able to run. So I had to make that decision. So I forced them down and I was able to keep them down. And I think that helped as well. So definitely an opposite approach than how Melanie did it. Again, I don't recommend, but I think that Grace is a similar runner to how I am too, where she doesn't really finish fast, but I don't know, it works for her.
I think, Maddie, I feel like that is a race plan though, still. And like, I think a lot of people do run that way, and banking time is still a race plan. And I agree, like you are a really strong runner in the last 6 miles, regardless. Like you're gonna brute force your way through to get through. So yeah, anyways, you still ran a low 2:47. So I mean, it clearly what you did worked.
Well, yeah, I mean, you did worked. It can backfire. I have that same approach, and it backfires on me a lot. Like I ran the PR back in September, and my approach was knowing that the last 3 miles I'm going to be dying. And so those first like 10 miles, because it was downhill, I knew that I had to just bust my ass during those, and the last 3 miles was going to be tough. And I think that is an approach, and I think it can work, and it did work for you. 47. As a matter of fact. So congratulations. It's really awesome. Melanie, let's talk about your approach. I'm really interested to hear how it started for you and kind of.
Yeah. So I think all 3 of us went out too fast, to be honest. So it's not like it was just Matt. All 3 of us went out too fast. My plan was, I wanted to go out in the 6:30. Okay. I know like we were all pretty calm the night before, but I was a little bit like frantically chat GPTing. So
Oh my God.
I journaled the night before and I wrote out, because I did this. Okay, this is my second time running CIM. And I did this the first time I ran CIM in 2019. So I wrote just like certain like splits on my hand just to help keep me, honestly, to keep me like slower in the beginning. And then I did really have the sub 250 goal. I didn't know if I could hit it, but I was like, okay, these were splits that if I wanted to start out conservatively and still hit sub 250, like what are splits? And so ChatGPT helped me come up with a race plan. My coach, ChatGPT. And honestly, like reading the splits that it spit out, it was not scary. Like it seemed very reasonable. It had me starting at 6:30. It was like 6:36. But even that, I was scared to go out I didn't want to go out that slow, that conservative. But like Maddie, I was like, as long as it's effort, and I'm sure like the 3 of us were all like trying to slow ourselves down. So anyways, my goal was to go out like 6:30s or like upper 6:20s. And I I was in the 620s. I'm like trying to find my splits. But I was in the 620s, like upper 620s, I would say. But it's still faster than I would like to. But I think if you go out and it feels like you're very comfortable and like you're trying to slow yourself down. And no, Grace said the same thing. Like she was like, I'm trying to slow myself down. Like she said that in the middle. It's like that's a good sign. That means that's probably the right effort. CIM is downhill in the beginning too, especially. I'm a little bit like scarred from Boston though, because I had the same experience. Like I was like, it feels so easy. And then my legs were just dead from the downhill. But yeah, that was my plan. And I had hoped to like, ChatGPT told me my race plan was like 6:30s and then 6:20s, come through the half. I wrote on my hand like 1:25:30 to 1:26, but I was
Wow.
faster than I was like 1:25. I think I was just under 1:25 in the half. So I was fast. But like Maddie, I was like, okay, this is good. I can bank some time, like just in case. And I felt like pretty comfortable, honestly, the whole time. Yeah. So it was just like to speed up a little bit. I think like by mile 20 was like another like speed up. So really the plan didn't have me going sub 6:20 until if I could, like the last 2 miles. But yeah, it's just a gradual increase down was planned.
Did you like see anybody that you're running with during it? Or the way I kind of look at it is when I'm running, I'll start pacing myself with somebody specific if I'm not running with the pacer. And then either I'll try to beat them and go past them and go to the next person, or at the very least, try to stay with them during that. Do you do any of that kind of stuff, or is it just me?
Yeah, I will say, and then I'll kick it to Grace because she can
Yeah.
talk about this too, because we ran so much together. We like yo-yoed together for 22 miles.
Wow.
But okay, so you guys saw my post about Jesus, our friend Jesus. So on the start line, he comes up to next to me. It was right when they were playing the national anthem. And he just like starts talking to me and he like asked me what my goal is. And I was like, sub 250. And he's sweet, let's do it. And I was like, oh, sweet. And then I told him, I was like, well, I'm going to go out like a little conservative. So yeah, we had an amazing group, honestly, for like legit 22 miles. And then
Wow.
this guy, Jesus, he lives in LA and he was so like honestly, the most uplifting person. And I'm not going to lie, I was worried that he was going to want to talk a lot to me because he was so chatty on the start line. And I was like, oh no, I'm like Maddie and Grace, where I'm like, I love to run with people, but I'm not going to like converse, but I do pump up. Like I like to pump people up. I like people to pump. And I'll kick it to Grace, but he would just run and be like, it's a beautiful day. And then he'd be like, but let's go, guys. And everybody was so nice. Like, I just think it's what everybody needed because everybody was like, thanks, man. Wow, you're awesome. Like to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was stride for stride with him for legit 22 miles.
Did you beat him or at the end, or did you?
I did beat him. I lost him in the last 2 miles, but also, so we're Strava friends with him now. He's an ultra runner and he did not train. Like he said he got 3 of like straight training and that's pretty much it. And we looked at his Strava and that's legit. It was true. He did not train. So he's very talented.
Obviously. Ace, I knew it'd get to you. So let's get.
Yeah.
How'd you feel the day, of, and what was your thinking and all that stuff?
Day of, to continue on with our friend Jesus, I had noise canceling AirPods in as well as Maddie. And it was my first time running with music because I usually won't race with them. And I had heard, yes, noise canceling, but you can still kind of hear stuff. I heard Melanie with him like near the beginning of the race. And I was like, I'm not going to engage. I don't, because I was like, sometimes people talk and get all hyped the first couple miles and then they definitely fall off. And I was like, okay, this is probably going to be the case here. I'm not going to invest in somebody who I know is going to fall off. And I was like, how long is this guy going to really keep it up with this enthusiasm? And like by mile 22, he was still saying it's a beautiful day. And me and Mel, you know what? We love this guy's energy. And yeah, we were all a little unofficial pace group together the whole time. But aside from Jesus, strategy wise, didn't want to get wrapped up in what other people were running because I very much knew like this whole training block, I knew it was almost like a scientific equation. I felt like if I ran certain times in training and I took the right amount of nutrition at the most precise times, I could do X time. And so that's how I treated the race as well. Like I knew exactly what I could do based on the training because I had done it and I did the work for it. And so I knew the first mile was going to be downhill and there's going to be a sharp right turn and I was like, fast. Don't base anything else on the race on that. Just fall asleep for the first 5K. And so the first 5 minutes, like, okay, fall asleep, don't even pay attention to the splits. It's not going to be accurate. And then after that, I absolutely loved the rolling hills. But my whole plan was for the first half not to go faster than a 6:35. And talking with Jordan, we said, if you're feeling good, yeah, still don't go faster than 6:35, but you should be doing a 6:40 effort. So if it feels like 6:40 effort wise, then you're in a good spot. And so I was still trying not to go all out, but we were doing maybe 6:20s. And again, I was running not really with Mel at that time because I didn't want to engage.
Jesus.
And feel like it's too early for that. And no way. And so I knew the first half, I was like, just hold back. And that's when I did say to Mel, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to like not just go. And so part of me does wish what would have happened if I did just go. But then at the halfway point, I finally was like, all right, it's go time. Let's pick up the pace. And so my 13 to 14 mile was like a 6:11 or something.
Jeez.
So I really picked it up just because I was so hyped up. I was like, yes, the halfway point. And I did that.
That's the halfway point, go to 6:11.
That must have been a really fast part of the course because I feel like that's where my mile 11 is a 6:06.
Oh, wow.
But it says it's a negative. This is my Strava, and then a 53 feet drop there. That must be a big downhill.
Yeah. And you did take off, Grace. I remember that at the half because you were just waiting for the half. I remember you said that to me, and then you took off.
And so I was like, this is go time. And then I still though had in the back of I had it too early. And I had listened to other stuff just about the race course and what people had said, they wish they didn't do. And so it was it's too early for that. But then also, what if you go fast? And mile 13, took off, but then slowly reverted back to my pace. I was like, no, that felt good what I was doing the first half. It was still faster than the plan to stick to it. And so we had our group up until, mile 20. And I knew once I hit mile 20, it was this downhill that everyone talked. And so I was like, if I can make it to 20 and hold this pace, the rest is downhill, quite literally. And so at 20, I was expecting a big downhill and it never came.
Yeah, downhill at the end. I don't know if we're just dead, but there was no downhill.
Yeah, no downhill ever came, but it got a lot harder. And the worst miles for me was 24 and 25. Because I was like, there's no downhill.
She's pissed. There's no downhill.
Where the heck will the finish? I slowed down on mile actually, I think I slowed down mile 23 and 24 a little bit, but nothing crazy significant. It was actually I slowed down to what my original plan was. So I knew I had banked a ton of time. And then I also heard somewhere, if you see palm trees, that's when you go. And so I was like, okay, there's the palm trees. And then still the finish line was around a turn and then another turn.
First two. I thought obviously the first part of the course is always easiest, but in my memory, it was just Eric Woodcock told me because he ran the race prior to, he's what comes up must come down. And that kept sticking in my head too. Every uphill, I was like, oh, nice. We're going to get a good downhill after this. Except the end.
Wow. That's awesome. And so were you all three happy with your times or did you think, oh man, I could have done better? Or what was your thinking after you all hit PR?
I guess we can fast forward to the finish from Maddie's point of view because she was the first one there.
So for me at the end, I was honestly the last 6 miles, I was just doing the mental math in my head. If I run under a 7-minute mile pace, I got it. Then I had 5 minutes left. I was like, wow, I'm really going to get this. I'm really going to get this closer, closer, closer. But it was really at the point where I was like, just if you even let a negative thought slip into your mind whatsoever right now, your legs might cramp, you might give out. You just need to stay strong, stay positive.
I like that.
I was not feeling good at the end, unlike Mel too. I felt like my legs could cramp. And I was like, you just need to get to the finish. So I finished and I was hurting. I'm not going to lie. I was honestly in disbelief too when I saw the 2:47. So I immediately finished and I just went off to the side. And I always do this after races. I just hold onto the fence, just to regain my composure for a minute.
Yeah.
And I started tearing up a little bit because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. Because I've been trying to get sub 250 since before I had kids. This has been a goal of mine since 2020.
Yeah.
So then it's fine. As soon as I'm about to stand back out, I turn and I see Mel. And I was like, Mel, what did you just run? And she was like, a 2:48. I was like, are you kidding me? You 48? Because Mel didn't fully I knew that was your goal, but you weren't
I didn't think
You
I
didn't
was
think
gonna
you were
do
going to
it.
get it, honestly. That's the vibe I was getting from you. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh, where's Grace? You're like, oh, she should be coming soon. And I was like, oh, no way. So then maybe 2 seconds later, I look over and we see Grace cross the finish line. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So then Grace comes up to us. I was like, Grace, what was your time? And she's 49. And I was like, oh my gosh, we all broke 250. That is crazy. And then we saw Dustin, and then I was like getting teary eyed, and he's, are you crying tears of joy or tears of sadness? I was like, tears of joy. He's like, good. But yeah, that was my finish line memory. I don't know.
So I do want to back up to I know I put this in my post, but like for me, see, everybody knows when you run a marathon, you're like, okay, anything you can feel great, but like the real race starts at mile 20. So
Right.
for me, the whole race, I was like, just get to mile 20 feeling comfortable and hopefully I'll feel good from then. And it is like such a core memory for me. Grace, right when we hit mile 20 or like right before, she got, again, we had a good group. I mean, there was like at least, I don't know, there was like me, you, Jesus, the girl Emily, another girl we don't know her name. So there's 4 or 5 of us. And then she's like, guys, we're gonna do it. And do it as in run sub 250. And I think it's like nobody really wanted to say it until then. So I just remember I got a huge flutter of just excitement in that moment.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, because like it's true. It's like you get to mile 20 and you're feeling good. And like the downhill, I will say, I told Maddie and Grace, I'm like, oh my gosh, the last 6 miles, you guys, is so much downhill. And I
That's not
too
what I just heard.
I don't remember, like, it was more downhill 2019, I swear, this year, because there was not that much, I agree. I think maybe we were just tired. But yeah, end of the race, I got a new group on, so like 22, I was with Jesus still, and I was like, come on, Jesus. And he was like, come on, baby. He was just like, so like, come on, let's go. And then the last couple miles, I caught a new group, and it was like that. So again, my most vivid of the race for me, honestly, was the last 2 miles. And I think I was just like really happy and grateful. And I'm proud of how how my mindset was in the last two. And it sounds like you too, Maddie and Grace, like you guys were like, no negative thoughts. Let's just go for it. But I felt like I was really taking it in. Like I can actually really picture the last 2 miles a lot. And again, I just feel really lucky that I was with so many just uplifting people the whole race. Like even when I left Jesus and like my group, I caught these other guys and then they too were so uplifting. And we were just like, let's go. Come on, we got this. Like 2 more miles. And then like one of the guys I was with, he was passing somebody that he knew and he was like, come with me, come on. And then
Love it.
hit the last mile. I remember I was like, last mile, let's go. It was just really, everybody was super vocal. And I just felt like I was like going really fast. I will say my legs were really dead. So like my quads, for sure, they were getting that soreness, which I was surprised because I figured I'd run enough hills in Wyoming that I wasn't going to be sore. But surprisingly, like my breathing was really fine. My legs were sore, but I didn't ever feel like super dead. I do have a bit of a what if, and I know Maddie and Grace have said that too a bit. Like, Maddie, you go out fast because you're like, what if? What if you don't? Like, or what if you feel really good and you leave time on the table? Grace, you said that as well. I have a little bit of that because I did feel pretty good. But ultimately, like I have such a positive experience of it. But yeah, so yeah, sprinted in and had great group, uplifting, felt really good. And then yeah, like Maddie said, I was so happy and surprised to see her right there by the finish when I crossed the finish line. Saw her bright pink shorts, and I was just so happy because like I had looked at my clock, like the time, because we start after the gun a bit. You can't go off of the time that it actually says.
Yeah.
I looked at my overall time as I was like after 26, like I was like coming in, and I was like, oh dang, I feel like I'm going to be very close to. First of all, I was like, holy cow, I can't believe this is really fast. But I knew I was going to be pretty close. I was like, I could maybe get sub 248. But I wasn't sure. I wasn't looking at my watch in the last 0.2, and I was just trying to sprint it in. I saw the clock on the time was like, or the time on the clock was like 2:48:15 or something. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe, I don't know. But just like seeing Maddie at the finish was super fun. And like, I was so thankful to like, because I didn't see her, and I saw her at mile 1 and I could see her at the finish. And then, yeah, Grace was literally right behind us. And then we caught up with some people like Maddie said. So yeah, it was great.
But you, Grace, what did it feel like at the end and all of that?
The only thing I'll add to that is Coming down like the last final stretch after 2 turns or whatever it was, I did look at the clock and I was excited because that was a PR and that was my ultimate goal in this whole thing. But then
Yeah.
I was like, I have 7 seconds to cross the line before it strikes 250. And I was like, man, like that would have been so cool to be sub 250. And so with the clock, I wasn't even thinking about gun time. I crossed at 2:50:02. And I was like, oh, darn it. Like that would have been so cool if I didn't do that. If I didn't go to the one side of the road, that one would have been that like point or 0.02 seconds. And then I was like, wait a minute. That was the gun. And then
the
I
gun.
looked at my watch because that's when Maddie had asked me. She was like, what did you run? And I was like, like it was all like processing. I was like, oh my gosh, I did break 250. Because I was like, it's got to be like 2 seconds that we started later. And then that's where I saw it was like 2:49:48 or something like that.
What was your previous PR before that?
2:57.
Okay, so you did break 3, but that's huge. That's a
Not the PR.
8,
You are
7, whatever. Like huge, especially at that. Wow. So great stories. I love it. What an amazing accomplishment. And just the 3 of you, good friends, sisters, whatever, just staying together, hanging out, and you all break 250. A lot of people did really well, the sloths and things like that. So it was really cool to see lots of PRs from some of those folks and just run really fast, including the 3 of you, is insane. So my next question is for all 3 of you, just one at a time, obviously. Look, I know you're taking some time. It's Christmas and things like that about to hit. Take some time off or whatever. What's next? What are y'all thinking? Are y'all going to Boston or anything like that? What's the thinking there? Anything?
Yeah, so for me, I'm probably going to do a lot of just local or close races, easier for my husband, for me to not have to travel. Probably do
Yeah.
Cowtown, half, Big Star. I don't know. I don't know what my next full will be, to be honest. Nothing's on the calendar yet. Definitely nothing until at least next
Okay.
fall, winter.
No Boston or anything, huh? For you?
No Boston this year. No,
Okay.
pretty boring.
I'm doing the Cowtown half as well. So maybe I'll just say hello and that's about it. I won't be running with you. Cowtown's always, for me, like a kind of a bitch. Like, it's just a lot of hills. It's a
It's
great course. It's fun.
good event. Like
It's
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
so well organized. They have the best elite
Yeah.
program.
Well, you get to be in the elite. I was in the elite for some reason. I don't know why, but they put me in the corral, not elite. But last year, for some reason, I was like, okay, I'll run with these guys.
That's to get your way in there. You probably do an on the spot podcast interview.
Yeah, definitely. I could probably do something like that. Just interview a bunch of people.
Yeah.
How about you, Grace?
So I was so excited to be done with the training block because it was like, I
Excited.
don't have to run until I want to after this. But then I run on the Marine Corps running team, and then the coach texted me yesterday and
Oh,
said, "Hey, do you want to do
great.
an 8K in January?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So
Okay. Not bad.
I don't even know what time is. I don't know. I've maybe run maybe 2 8Ks in my life.
520s. Just run 520s.
And that's insane to just think about. So MP to now 8K pace, I don't even know. But I do feel like I'm so well trained, I can tailor it a little bit to be.
Oh, yeah.
But the unfortunate part is that training is not quite over. Like I was so excited for. But aside from
It's
that,
kind of like a
marathon-
10K training. So that's just really, it's really going to be fast. So a lot of
yeah,
speed.
but 10K training, I remember it from college just being absolutely miserable for how
Yeah.
long it was, but still so fast. Marathon was Marine Corps Marathon 2027. I will absolutely train for this year. I love the Marine Corps Marathon. Is
2027?
yeah, so not next year, but the following.
Okay. So that's
Right on
a couple
top.
years away. Yeah.
Yeah. I have never trained for that race, and I love the race itself.
Okay.
And I use that race to think it's all my friends cheering me on, but they're all volunteers that have to be there. And so just running the Marine Corps Marathon in DC while I'm living there, like it's a
Yeah.
perfect recipe. So that
Love it.
will be definitely on the Marine Corps schedule or on the marathon schedule for me.
Okay. How about you, Mel?
Yeah, for me, I'm about to experience a legit winter, so I will not be. I do not have a treadmill, and I need to get one. But also, we're going to be moving again in the next couple months. No races, no training really for me. I think I'll just run when I want to this winter, which I'm looking forward to. I really want to focus on strength and like this winter.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I probably won't do anything. I'll just look for local, like my new local things, and I guess that spring. Then, yeah, I'd love to do a fall marathon. I have been trying to do New York 4 times. I cannot get into it. So I'd love to
Really?
do New York. Yeah. And then now that I live out here, there's just a lot of there's good like races out here. Like maybe I can look into St. George and then I don't know, whatever, like other ones that are in the Colorado area. But yeah, I'll try for New York. And then Grace, yeah, I'd love to do Marine Corps has been on my bucket list for ever since I started marathoning. So 2027, let's go ahead and put that
Come
out
on
there.
out.
I'd love to.
Go for the next PR, but it's not the most PR friendly course, but
Oh,
it's okay.
really?
We'll just have to train hard.
Go for a fast time.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's hard too, is like we all just hit our goals. So
Yeah.
you have to strategically pick a race. Like I think the next logical goal for all of us would probably be 245 or around there.
Yeah.
Which that's I think we could all probably hit it if we keep training organically, but you really have to pick a strategic course. And there's only so many of
100%.
them. CAM, Houston,
Yeah.
Chicago.
Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah. So there's not a ton. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
grandmas.
I mean, I hear Grandma's awesome.
Oh, yeah. That's another good one.
Yeah.
Melanie, what part of Colorado are you moving to?
Fort Collins, so northern Colorado.
Oh, okay. My wife and I have done some races out there, and we used to do some trails back in the day, and she's done Leadville, the marathon there, and I've done it's called the heavy half, which is 15 miles, not a half. Like, it's on the trails. You go straight up a mountain, and it's really hard as hell, and then you go straight down. So you go all the way up like 13,000 feet. You start out in Leadville, it starts out at 10,000 feet, and then you go up to 13 something, and then you go back down. This is about 6.5 or 7.5 up, 7.5 down. But just doing those kinds of things are a lot of fun. It's different. It's a different atmosphere when you get into Colorado and Wyoming. I'm sure it has some pretty awesome, gnarly places to go, but it's fun. It's just really cool. What did I miss? Anything I missed that you're like, man, he should have asked? Anything you can think about? Knowledge kind of bombs, anything?
I think for me, the one thing, not that you missed it, but Mel hinted on this in her post or something about the core memory, but for sure that finish line and seeing both of them is going to be a core memory for me. But I think one thing that's so important is obviously Grace is my sister. So
Yeah.
that's really probably my first like running girlfriend in Texas. So crossing the finish line and just having them both there, it's a huge testament to find your people and
Yeah.
find people that you share common goals with. Like we live in 3 different parts of the country entirely. We didn't even train together. So when people say, oh, I don't have anyone to train with, or I don't have anyone to do this with, there's really no excuses. Sync up on Strava, see what they're doing, and plan races together. Like it's so special to be able to share that with people, regardless of where you live or what your connection is. Like I said this in one of our previous podcasts, but like a quote, which I stole from my brother, which one is one of my favorite ones, is if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
find people who are better than you or going for common goals, and you're going to get better yourself, whether it's in running or any piece of life.
Oh, I love that, Maddie. That's such a good message. And I love you so much. And also, I will say, and Grace, like this is probably the same for you too, because we did all of our training alone. Like along that note too, like there were some posts that so like for me, I always say that this training block, I suffered from OCD, obsessive comparison disorder, to myself. So like because I followed the exact same training plan. So I literally have to a T. I did this workout in 2023. These are my splits. I'm doing this workout in 2025. Oh my gosh, my splits are 20 seconds slower. But again, like being by myself, and there were a couple of posts that I was like, wow, man, oh, that was really hard. Why did that feel hard? Blah, blah, blah. But just like my friends, the running community, there were so many times that people would comment on my Strava, kind of like what Maddie says, like syncing up on Strava, and people would be like, you would nail this if you were running with people, or oh my gosh, great.
Yeah.
This is so good. So it just felt I just feel really grateful to have the support from afar too. And that's just when I say that the weekend was just so rare and special, yeah, those are the reasons why. Like you get to sync up and be back with your people and just have such a great time. But yeah, feeling the support from afar through Strava, it was like amazing as well.
It's pretty cool.
I think there's still something to be said about training solo in very cold environments with daylight savings early in the morning when it's dark, and in a new environment too. Mel and I just went through some big transitions moving to totally new locations. So I started this training block, and Mel, it sounds, did too, in totally new running routes that we had never done before, finding brand new tracks, wondering if they're going to be open, if there's going to be bathrooms at the track. So all of the places I ran, it's good memories on the different locations because this is where I did 1Ks. This is where I did my speed workouts. This is where I would do tempo workouts. And so driving past them now, I'm like, oh, thank goodness I'm not doing those workouts anymore. But that's what I'm associating with this new place that I live.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to use Maddie's quote in the newsletter whenever it's written. I like it. I've heard that a lot too. And the other thing, Melanie, I love is that you kind of look to the community on Strava, which Strava has now become really a powerful tool for people to use and look at. And like you said, you get some people saying things and you kind of look at your own splits or others and seeing how they're training. And so one is the community that Maddie mentioned and Grace didn't have, but she's still done. And so did you, Melanie. But you guys took the opportunity to do what you had to do and still look to the community, but yet still did it by yourself to some degree. And I love that. And look, I think community is key. And the three of you came together with the other sloths and whoever else came. Probably that was motivating. Anytime you get to go to a race with your friends was always cool. And then PRs for all three of you and a lot of other people. It was freaking awesome. That inspires me and it gave me goosebumps when I saw the three of you hit under 250. I was like, holy cow. I wanted to tear up a little bit and I did. Y'all are inspiring to me. And I think you're inspiring to not just other women, but for sure other women, just people in general. It's just the effort you put into these races, the training, the amount of kind of commitment that you have to take when you think about kids and husbands and all those things. That's a commitment on their end too, right? And so it's pretty cool to see. And you're doing what you love and you're kicking ass and I love it. So ladies, this has been great. I really appreciate the three of you spending your time with me for an hour and talking about your experience. An amazing conversation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
And
for having us.
one final thing that I did leave
Yeah.
out, and I know we all were itching to say it, but Brandon, Danny, and Dan get the biggest thank yous of all for letting us train, watching children way more than they signed up for, and watching them when we did our little girls trip getaway for the icing on the cake. So thank you to all three of them.
Yes.
I assume that's your husband's.
I just ran simple. We just like them. Same thing.
Make sure they listen to the end of this so that they know what you said. Said, no, you can listen to all the way to the end because that's when we said it. So, well, this has been great. So thank you everyone for tuning in to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel. Please subscribe to the newsletter at dfwrunningtalk.substack.com. Until next time, ladies, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye.
Chris.
Thanks.